Hello everyone and thank you for tuning to King 5 News in Seattle. We have a special international report here. We are deeply and shockingly aware of an unknown virus detected somewhere in Tokyo and Yokohama in Japan. Japanese health officials say that the primary method of transmission is unknown. They added that the virus came from contaminated water which may cause death to a certain individual. Over 1,000 people have contracted this illness, a dramatic increase of the first stages of this type of epidemic. The Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare has informed all residents in Tokyo and Yokohama to drink bottled water or clean safest water from another source. If any of Japanese citizens don't have safe bottled water, they need to boil their water to make it safe to drink, killing disease-causing germs, including viruses, bacteria, and parasites.
厚生労働省からの緊急メッセージです。横浜と東京の一部で1のウイルスが検出されました。このウイルスは、沖縄からの貨物機が宮ヶ瀬湖に撃墜されたことによる汚染された水源から来たものと考えられます。東京と横浜のすべての市民は、水道水の代わりに安全なボトル入りの水を飲むことをお勧めします。水道水を飲んでいる場合、または安全なボトル入りの水を持っていない場合は、沸騰させてウイルス、細菌、寄生虫を取り除き、安全に飲めるようにしてください。そうしないと、結果として病気にかかってしまいます。今後の更新については、このチャンネルをご覧ください。通常の番組が再開される可能性があります。
This is an emergency message from the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare. An unknown virus is detected in some parts of Yokohama and Tokyo. We believe that the virus came from the contaminated water supply caused by the downing of the cargo plane from Okinawa in Lake Miyagase. All citizens in Tokyo and Yokohama are advised to drink safe bottled water instead of tap water. If you are drinking tap water or not having a safe bottled water, boil it to make it safe to drink. That would take away the viruses, bacteria, and parasites. If you don't, you will fall to sickness as a result. Please stay tuned to this channel for further updates. Normal programming may now resume.
愛車は満タンにするのに我が子の中は満タンにしないのか。
満たされたら旅人失格だ。俺のお腹だってエンプティだよ。
これは警察署の要請による横浜と東京の行方不明者警報です。過去2日間で互いに何のつながりもない複数の被害者が行方不明になったと報告されています。彼らの身元は明らかにされませんが、行方不明になる前に奇妙な行動をとっていたと報告されています。彼らは人々が話しかけても反応せず、方向感覚を失ったように見えたと報告されています。私たちの見解は、これらの被害者の行動が最終的にさらに敵対的になり、民間人の安全を脅かす可能性があると懸念しています。近くで異常な行動をしている人を見かけた場合は、その人に近づかないでください。すぐに119にダイヤルし、被害者を目撃した場所を知らせてください。ご協力に感謝し、今後の更新にご注目ください。
This is a missing persons alert for Yokohama and Tokyo at the request of our police department. Within the past 2 days, several victims that are not connected to each other in any way were reported missing. Their identities will not be revealed, however they were reported to have been acting strange before they disappeared. They reportedly did not respond when people tried talking to them, and looked like they lost a sense of direction. Our prefectural police is concerned that these victims' behaviors may eventually become more hostile and pose a threat to civilian safety. If you observe anyone nearby you acting abnormally, do not approach the persons. Dial 119 immediately, and notify them of where you saw the victim. Thank you for your cooperation and stay tuned for further updates.
社長、俺トイック300点。俺なんて英検3級。今さら英語なんて。日本語だって怪しいのに。あれが新しい上司か。
This is NHK World Japan with breaking news out of Tokyo. There is a specific truth regarding the new virus that has begun to circulate online, especially after several people were reported missing. Because of the report saying that they were acting strange, some have theorized that these persons were affected by the virus. These theories are popular on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter. Head of Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare Kees Otakimi said that we do not know what has caused the waterborne virus. Our research teams are finding out what has caused our tap water supply to become contaminated. We are a bit scared that people start to panic about it. Time will tell you what is the correct truth to this type of situation. This has led people around the world to question whether or not the government is telling the full truth, or if this virus is really what it seems. To find out the truth, we have a 28-year-old researcher with us today. Ko Takumi has agreed to speak with us about his opinions on the matter. Ko, did you know why the unknown waterborne illness has entered Tokyo and Yokohama in the Kanto region?
My team and I found an unknown situation occurring in Lake Miyagase where people of Tokyo and Yokohama mainly get water supply from. I really saw the wreckage of the Okinawan military plane with an unknown biological weapon. I felt like it is really horrifying that the virus entered Tokyo and Yokohama after 1,000 people got sick after drinking tap water, which isn't safe.
Ko, why did the Okinawan plane crash in Lake Miyagase?
My team and I found an audio recording a few days ago. We heard Japanese military personnel getting killed in the plane by so-called unknown rebels. They started releasing a biological weapon that wholly contaminated the plane. It lost control and crashed into the lake. All fauna in Lake Miyagase were dead. We felt sorry for the fatalities in this lake. I fear when the virus happens in all of Japan, the special assault teams, the ground forces, and local law enforcement are ready to combat the spread of the virus. Thank you and be safe.
Thank you, Ko Takumi. I want to make clear that we at NHK World Japan News have understood the truth about the virus that emerged from the wreckage of a contaminated military plane from Okinawa in Lake Miyagase. We regret to inform you to follow safety precautions on drinking water in case of contamination of tap water supply, or you will get infected within 5 minutes.
1193緊急事態は何ですか？
助けて、夫が病気になって、どこからともなく私を攻撃し始めたんです。
落ち着いてください、奥様。特別突撃部隊を派遣できるよう住所を教えてください。
港区、赤坂7645にあるプレミスト赤坂日野木町公園 4F。
ルームメイト、特にご主人が病気だったとおっしゃいましたね。彼は新たな病気にかかっていたのでしょうか？
ええ、そうだと思います。私はトイレに閉じこもっていますが、彼は私がここにいることを知っていると思います。
奥さん、まだそこにいますか？
助けがいる奴はドアを壊そうとしている。
とにかく電話を切ってください。
助けを送ってください。
ちょっと待って。
何？
なんてことだ。
どうしたの？
この忌々しいウイルス。我々は完全に間違っていた。
どうしたの、ケイコ？
水系インフルエンザとは大違いだ。見ろよ、アキラ。
エボラや COVID と同じように糸状のように見えます。しかし、そんなわけないですよね。これを見逃すなんてありえない。
明らかに、そうでした。私たちはこれを水系インフルエンザのように扱ってきましたが、これは非常に感染力が高く、致死的なウイルスである可能性があります。この情報を世界保健機関に提供する必要があります。エボラとは関係のないウイルスに感染して歩き回っている人がどれだけいるかは誰にもわかりません。関東地方全体が危険にさらされようとしています。
As football fans, Raising Cane's believes in rushing quarterbacks. but not our hot, fresh 24.
Thank you for joining this emergency conference. We have received a word from the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, stating that the scientists have conducted a research on this new virus and have urgent information to share with you. The virus, which has begun to spread rapidly across Tokyo and Yokohama in the Kanto region of Japan, has been gathered, and scientists with us have conducted research into its properties. Initially, we believe this virus was a waterborne flu-like virus, posing a threat to the weak and vulnerable, but initial research has shown this virus bears more similarly to Ebola virus and differently from COVID. We knew from the beginning that waterborne illness is primarily caused by swallowing contaminated recreational or drinking water. Many waterborne pathogens can also be acquired by consuming contaminated food or beverages, from contact with animals or their environment, through person-to-person spread or breathing in contaminated water droplets. However, based on our research in recent years, we conclude that this new waterborne illness isn't related to Ebola and COVID, and may be in relation to the RNA virus families such as picornaviridae, calasaviridae, hepaviridae, vioviridae, astraviridae, and the adenoviridae. This virus has now been dubbed J17SV, or colloquially known as Japanese waterborne infection virus. It does not have a similar composition to Ebola but does the same to the RNA virus families. Symptoms of the virus include diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, fever, cough, shortness of breath, slurred speech, rashes, skin, ear, or eye problems, drooling, and homicidal rage. We can confirm that the Japanese Prime Minister has ordered all international flights going to all Japanese prefectures to be cancelled. All of the Kanto region have to be quarantined immediately. The Special Assault Team has to place a military blockade in Yokohama and Tokyo to ensure that the virus contained as much as possible. The Japanese ground forces, medical, and emergency teams are getting ready to handle this type of situation. All governments across the world will soon prepare to begin the necessary actions. The world leaders are also being kept up to date.
これは、日本政府及び厚生労働省と連携した、東県警察からの緊急メッセージです。横浜と東京でのウイルスの蔓延に関する最近の状況を受けて、日本政府はこれら2つの県の周囲に軍事封鎖を敷くことを決定しました。現時点では、これら2つの県外へのウイルスの蔓延を抑制するため、適切な許可なしに東京と横浜に出入りすることはできません。封鎖を破ろうとする者は、誰であれ致死的な力で対処されます。関東地方での生活はある程度通常通りですが、いくつかの制限が課せられます。住民は顔の保護具を着用して外出することができ、食料品店や薬局などの生活必需品の店は営業を続けます。ただし、公園やショッピングモールなどの公共の集会スペースは、追って通知があるまで一般に閉鎖されます。この夜間外出禁止令は無期限に有効であり、ウイルスが一般の人々にとって脅威ではなくなったと判断され次第、解除されます。警戒を怠らず、何があっても安全を確保してください。
This is an emergency message from our prefectural police, in conjunction with Japanese government and Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare. Due to the recent developments with the virus spreading in Yokohama and Tokyo, the Japanese government has decided to instate a military blockade around these two prefectures. As of now, no one will be able to enter or leave Tokyo and Yokohama without proper authorization, to curb the spread of the virus outside of these two prefectures. Anyone who attempts to breach the blockade will be met with lethal force. Life within the Kanto region will retain some degree of normality, but there are limitations being enforced. Residents will be able to go outside with the facial protection gear on. And essential stores, such as grocery stores or pharmacies, will remain open. However, public gathering spaces such as parks or malls, will be shut down to the public until further notice. This curfew is in effect indefinitely, and will be lifted once it has been determined that the virus is no longer a threat to the general population. Remain vigilant and stay safe at all costs.
注意。あなた方は公衆を危険にさらし、病気をさらに広めています。今すぐ屋内に戻ってください。さもないと、私たちは強制的に発砲することになります。
彼らは撤退している。この抗議者や感染者は私たちを侵入しようとしているのか？
わかりませんが、もう我慢の限界です。ああ、やれやれ。ボートを狙え。銃を構えろ。準備ができて。止まらないぞ。撃て。ああ、なんてことだ。ボートが近づいてきている。県境の封鎖を突破させないでくれ。
数が多すぎる。交代しろ。
いや、ヘイ、あや、一体何が起こっているんだ。
このメッセージは、日本の地上部隊と特殊攻撃部隊によって発せられたものです。横浜と東京周辺の軍の封鎖はボートによって突破されました。ボートは武装しており、伝染病を患っている可能性があります。特に東京や横浜の近くに住んでいる方は注意してください。ボートと交流したり、ボートに加わったりしないでください。暴動に参加した場合、
これは日本政府からの緊急メッセージです。関東地方での最近の混乱により、政府当局は地域全体で健康関連の制限を開始するよう促されました。これは東京と横浜で発生した非常に伝染性が高く、非常に不安定なウイルスがすでに広がっている以上に広がるのを防ぐためです。また、東京と横浜を囲む軍事封鎖が破られ、ウイルスが関東地方の検疫区域外に広がったことが最近確認されたためです。さらに、厚生省による最近の研究では、このウイルスは完全に新しいもので、どのインフルエンザウイルスよりもはるかに致命的であることが確認されています。これは実際には水系ウイルスであり、アフリカのエボラウイルスや中国のCOVID-19 ウイルスとは関係がありません。このウイルスは現在、日本の水系感染症ウイルス、または J17-B と呼ばれています。その起源とインデックスホストはまだ不明です。このウイルスは宿主の脳を乗っ取り、血への渇望を伴う殺人的な怒りを引き起こす能力があるため、非常に危険です。即時発行として、州外へのあらゆる交通手段が閉鎖され、地上部隊の軍団によって強制的に執行されます。この地域から出る高速道路はすべて遮断されます。成田空港と羽田空港のすべてのフライトは、追って通知があるまで着陸できません。他の人と共謀し、県境を越えてこれらの法律に違反しようとした場合、あなたと他の共犯者は現場で射殺されます。これらの緊急法は非常に深刻に受け止められることを意図しています。これらのガイドラインに違反した場合、あなたはこの国の敵とみなされます。現時点では制限が解除される具体的な日付はまだありません。学校、必須でないビジネス、及び私費による施設を除き、地上道路は開いたままですが、学校、必須でないビジネス、及び私費による施設は無期限に閉鎖されます。政府から配給があります。 20日間持続する物資を確保してください。もしあなたがこれらの J17 ズ B の症状に苦しみ、意識を失いつつあるなら、安全対策としてあなたは殺害され、すぐに当局に通報され、安全な場所に連れて行かれ、そこで少なくとも2週間隔離され、監視されるでしょう。このウイルスは日本と世界の他の地域に広がるのを止めることはできないかもしれません。あなたの政府はあなたの協力に感謝します。
This is an urgent message from the Japanese government. Due to the recent chaotic events in Kanto region, government officials have been prompted to initiate health-related restrictions across the entire region. This is to prevent the highly contagious and extremely volatile virus originating in Tokyo and Yokohama from spreading farther than it already has, and as it has recently confirmed that the military blockade surrounding Tokyo and Yokohama have been breached, and thus allowed the virus to spread outside of the Kanto region quarantine zone. Furthermore, recent studies by the Ministry of Health have confirmed that this virus is completely novel, and far deadlier than any flu virus. It is really a waterborne virus that isn't connected to Ebola virus from Africa and COVID-19 virus from China. This virus has now been dubbed as Japanese waterborne infection virus or J17-ZVI. Its origin and index host are still unknown. This virus is really dangerous as it has the ability to take control of the host's brain, which would provoke a homicidal rage with a thirst for blood. Effective immediately, all possible methods of transportation outside of the state are now being shut down and enforced by a legion of ground forces. All highways that go out of the region are being cut off. All flights in Narita and Haneda airports are now grounded until further notice. If you attempt to conspire with others, and try to violate these laws by crossing the prefectural borders, you, along with other accomplices, will be shot on sight. These emergency laws are meant to be taken extremely seriously. You will be considered as an enemy of this nation if you violate these guidelines. At this time, there isn't a specific date yet when the restrictions will be lifted. Surface streets will remain open except schools, non-essential businesses, and privately funded institutions which will be closed indefinitely. You will have rations from the government. Ensure that you have supplies that would last until 20 days. If you are suffering these J17-ZVI symptoms and becoming mindless, you will be murdered as a safety precaution and call the authorities immediately, and you will be taken into a secure location, where you will be quarantined and monitored for at least 2 weeks. This virus may not be stopped from spreading everywhere in Japan and the rest of the world. Your government thanks you for cooperation.
これは緊急警報です。過去2週間、本州のほとんどの地域で、東京と横浜を起源とする J17 ズ B の症例が急増しました。このウイルスは非常に危険で、宿主の脳を乗っ取り、殺人的な怒りを引き起こす能力があります。ウイルスに感染した人は誰でも失われたとみなされ、従ってすぐに捨てられるべきです。本州のほとんどの特別攻撃隊と日本の自衛隊は J17 ズ B ウイルスの急速な蔓延により人員が不足しており、地元の法執行機関はこれに対処する準備ができていない可能性があります。状況により、防衛省はこの種の状況に備えて緊急プロトコルを制定しました。この指令に基づき、次の都道府県で戒厳令が宣言されます。東京、茨城、千葉、群馬、埼玉、九条、神奈川、大阪、京都、愛知、静岡、兵庫、和歌山、岐阜、 くい。本州のこれらの影響を受けた県の住民は、軍隊が人口密集地域を徹底的に掃討し、J17 ズビーの拡散を遅らせるために目にしたものを殺害する予定であるため、直ちに避難するよう勧告されています。軍隊の効率的な移動を確保するため、高速道路は開通しておかなければならないため、移動には高速道路を使用しないでください。政府公認の避難所の場所に関する最新情報を提供する追加の警報が送信されます。これらの避難所の収容人数には限りがあるため、誰もが避難できるわけではないことに注意してください。報告されている J17 ズビーの発症症状には、激しい咳の発作、悪寒、発汗、目の充血、頭や胃の極度の灼熱感、頭痛、血を吐く、下痢、ろれつが回らないなどがありますが、これらに限定されるものではありません。あなたやあなたの愛する人がこれらの症状を経験している場合は、あなた自身やあなたの愛する人を断つか、すぐに彼らから離れてください。彼らはこのウイルスに飲み込まれ、あなたを殺すので、感傷的になってはなりません。日本の総理大臣は、被害を抑えるために本州の大部分の都市システムの完全停止を命じました。この放送局が攻撃を受けた場合、追って通知があるまでラジオに切り替えます。警戒を怠らず、どんな犠牲を払ってでも安全を確保してください。
This is an emergency warning. Within the past 2 weeks, most parts of Honshu Island have experienced a complete surge in cases of the J17-ZVI originating from Tokyo and Yokohama. This virus is extremely dangerous and has the ability to take control of the host's brain, provoking a homicidal rage. Anyone who has caught the virus is to be considered as lost, and thus they should be discarded immediately. Most of the special assault teams as well as Japanese self-defense forces in most of Honshu are depleted due to the rapid spread of J17-ZVI virus, and local law enforcement may not be equipped to deal with this. Due to the circumstances, the Ministry of Defense has enacted an emergency protocol reserved for this type of situation. Under this directive, martial law will be declared in the following prefectures: Tokyo, Ibaraki, Chiba, Gunma, Saitama, Miyagi, Kanagawa, Osaka, Kyoto, Aichi, Shizuoka, Hyogo, Wakayama, Gifu, and Fukuoka. Residents in these affected prefectures in Honshu are advised to evacuate immediately, as military forces will be conducting a full sweep of largely populated areas, killing anyone they see in order to slow down the spread of J17-ZVI. Do not use highways for travel because highways must be kept open in order to ensure efficient travel for armed forces. An additional alert will be sent out providing updates on the locations of government-sanctioned shelters. Keep in mind these shelters have limited capacity, so not everyone will be able to seek refuge there. Reported onset symptoms of J17-ZVI include, but aren't limited to, violent coughing fits, chills, sweating, bloodshot eyes, and extremely burning sensation in the head or stomach, headaches, vomiting blood, diarrhea, and slurred speech. If you or your loved ones are experiencing these symptoms, terminate yourself or your loved ones or leave them immediately. Don't be sentimental, as they will be consumed by this virus and kill you. The Prime Minister of Japan has ordered the complete deactivation of all city systems across most of Honshu to curb the damage they have wrought. If this station gets under attack, we will switch to radio until further notice. Remain vigilant and stay safe at all costs.
I have authorized this message for World Health Organization. I regret to inform you that there is no good news about the virus. The virus, known as J17-ZVI, has emerged in Tokyo and Yokohama, which caused a total chaos in the Honshu island of Japan by today at an alarming rate. We are terribly shocked that this Japanese island has reached 1.8 million cases of the J17ZVI virus. If the virus did a large damage in the Honshu's infrastructure, it would reach to Asia-Pacific countries and the American Pacific coastline and the rest of the world by next year. It is projected that Japan might be overtaken by the virus in next year. If the United States of America do the same as Japan, all of our remaining nations would fall. This virus is inevitable, as it takes over people's brains, which would provoke a homicidal rage to consume the victim. I'm trying to avoid using the word zombies because they are still human beings, and this is not a horror myth or legend. However, the behavior of the infected are showing zombie-like characteristics. I added that most of our people are eaten alive and likely reanimate into the infected. This virus is considered as vicious and brutal. Should our nations get overwhelmed by millions of infected, we might want to use nuclear weapons to eradicate the outbreak. We are hoping to survive together in the rest of the Christmas season and the upcoming New Year. God bless you all and Merry Christmas.
오랜 시간 사랑받아온 독보적 매콤함. 상하이 버거를 대신할 수 있는 건 새로운 상하이 버거뿐. 쌀가루로 더 바삭해진 뉴 맥스파이시 상하이 버거.
일본에서 유입된 J17ZVI 바이러스가 대한민국에 유입된 사실을 긴급히 알려드립니다. J17ZVI는 모든 사람을 감염된 인간 포식자로 만들 수 있는 불가피한 수인성 돌연변이 바이러스입니다. 세계보건기구 WHO에 따르면 이 바이러스의 증상은 설사, 발진, 구토, 메스꺼움, 위경련, 발열, 기침, 숨가쁨, 불분명한 언어, 피부, 눈 또는 귀 문제, 침흘림, 살인적인 분노입니다. 보건복지부는 인천과 부산, 제주공항에서 첫 번째 바이러스 감염 사례를 확인했다. 안면보호구를 착용하고 전투에 필요한 무기를 준비하고 5개월까지 사용할 수 있는 필수 물품을 확보하는 것이 좋습니다. 군은 이러한 종류의 위협에 대응할 준비가 되어 있습니다. 상황이 악화되면 대한민국 모든 주요 도시에 무기한 계엄령이 내려진다. 아직 구체적인 해제 날짜는 없습니다. 귀하 또는 귀하에 사랑하는 사람이 바이러스에 감염된 경우 귀하 또는 귀하에 사랑하는 사람을 즉시 종료하십시오. 또 다른 옵션은 의료 응급 상황을 위해 119에 전화하는 것입니다. 그러면 격리 장소로 이동하게 됩니다. 이 바이러스로 인해 일본이 정체 상태에 빠졌고 내년 초에 이 나라가 바이러스로 인해 멸망할 수도 있다는 점을 명심하십시오. 어떤 경우에도 주의를 기울이고 안전하게 지내세요.
We have come to our emergency attention that the J17ZVI virus from Japan has reached into Republic of Korea. The J17ZVI is an inevitable waterborne mutation virus that can turn every person into an infected human predators. Symptoms of this virus, in accordance to the World Health Organization, are diarrhea, rashes, vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, fever, cough, shortness of breath, slurred speech, skin, eye, or ear problems, drooling, and homicidal rage. The Ministry of Health and Welfare has detected first cases of the virus in the airports of Incheon, Busan, and Jeju Island. You are advised to wear facial protection gear, prepare a weapon to fight, and ensure essential supplies that would last until 5 months. The military is ready to respond to this kind of threat. If this situation deteriorates, all major cities in Republic of Korea are to undergo martial law for an indefinite period. No specific date yet when to be lifted. If you or your loved ones are infected with the virus, terminate yourself or them immediately. Another option is to dial 119 for the medical emergency, as they will take you into quarantine location. Be aware that this virus has brought Japan into a standstill, and it looks like this country might be destroyed by the virus in early next year. Remain vigilant and stay safe at all costs.
KFC 又香又甜，放胆玩味，又清爽又甜蜜，又酥脆，嗨出又香清爽新滋味，肯德基了啦！又香又甜卡拉脆鸡。
请注意，这是台湾政府的广播。我们注意到来自日本的 J17ZVI 病毒已经进入台湾，第一次发生的时间尚不清楚，但台北、高雄和台中已发现病例。这种病毒注定成为人类生命的毁灭者。我们的卫生机构正在确定治疗这种病毒的方法，但需要数月、数天或数年才能找到答案。正如世界卫生组织所说，这种病毒的症状包括腹泻、呕吐、心、胃痉挛、发烧、咳嗽、呼吸急促、言语不清、皮疹、皮肤、耳朵或眼睛问题、流口水和杀人狂怒。建议您准备好武器、脸部防护装备，并确保能维持5个月的物资。为防止 J17ZVI 颗粒进入您的房屋，请用黑色胶带密封所有裂缝。建议您严格避开人口稠密的地区，并在户外活动，以免在10分钟内感染病毒。武装部队准备在未来几天内隔离以下城市。这种病毒使所有亚太国家都陷入了疫情爆发的第一阶段，并让日本陷入了瘫痪。台湾总统将于晚上7点30分在所有电台发表演说。贵国政府感谢您的合作。现在可以恢复正常编程。
Please pay attention. This is a broadcast said by the Taiwanese government. It has come to our attention that the J17ZVI virus from Japan has crossed into Taiwan. When the first occurred is not known, but cases have been detected in Taipei, Kaohsiung, and Taichung. The virus is condemned to be a destroyer of human life, and our health agencies are determining what cure for this type of virus, but it will take months, days, or years to find out. Symptoms of this virus, as what World Health Organization said, include diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, fever, cough, shortness of breath, slurred speech, rashes, skin, ear, or eye problems, drooling, and homicidal rage. You are advised to prepare your weapons, ready your facial protection gear, and ensure supplies that would last until 5 months. To prevent the J17ZVI particles from entering your house, seal all cracks with black tape. You are advised to crucially avoid densely populated areas and spending time outdoors not to fall to the virus within 10 minutes. The armed forces are ready to quarantine these following cities in the coming days. This virus has made all Asia-Pacific nations fall to the first stages of the outbreak and brought Japan to its knees. The President of Taiwan will speak in all stations at 7:30 p.m. Your government thanks you for your cooperation. Normal programming may now resume.
En Domino's sabemos que han cambiado las cosas. Puede que ahora los conciertos sean a distancia. Puede que nos entretengamos de otra manera. Y puede que ahora la fiesta sea en el lugar más inesperado. Pero hay cosas que no tienen por qué cambiar.
Esta es la transmisión de emergencia. El virus japonés, conocido como J17ZVI, ha llegado a España y los primeros casos se detectaron en el puerto marítimo de Barcelona. Hemos creído que el virus procedía de un carguero infectado procedente de Japón que atracó en nuestro puerto de Barcelona hace varias horas. Este virus se propaga a un ritmo alarmante y lo convencimos de que use mascarilla, prepare sus suministros y armas esenciales, evite las áreas densamente pobladas, se lave bien las manos cada vez que salga y se aleje de las personas enfermas. Si estás infectado con el virus, llama al 061 de urgencia médica o suicídate por el bien de nuestra nación. Se han recibido ataques aleatorios masivos por parte de infectados en algunos barrios de Barcelona. El ejército y la policía están tomando medidas para detener la propagación del virus a diferentes partes de nuestro país. Si eso sucede, la ley marcial se promulgará en todo nuestro país a las 7:30, así como en Portugal y Gibraltar. Los síntomas a la vista informados de J17ZUI según la Organización Mundial de la Salud incluyen diarrea, vómitos, náuseas, calambres estomacales, fiebre, tos, dificultad para respirar, dificultad para hablar, erupciones cutáneas, problemas de piel, oídos u ojos, babeo y rabia homicida. Manténgase alerta y manténgase a salvo a toda costa.
Gafford make another play defensively. And that ball deflects to him, and he gets clobbered by Duran. And then Duran and P.J. Washington pushing and shoving.
The following message is transmitted at the request of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It has become apparent that the virus which brought Japan to a standstill has suddenly reached into the United States, with first cases being detected in the states of Texas, New York, Florida, Illinois, and Massachusetts. This virus, as mentioned by World Health Organization, is known as J17ZVI or Japanese waterborne mutation virus, that has the ability to take control of the host's brain, provoking a homicidal rage. Symptoms of this virus are diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, fever, cough, shortness of breath, slurred speech, rashes, skin, ear, or eye problems, drooling, and homicidal rage. To get away from the virus, avoid densely populated areas, wear facial protection gear, stock up with food and water, bring your weapon with you, and seal cracks with tape at home to prevent the contaminating particles from entering there. If you or your loved ones begin to suffer J17ZVI symptoms, call 911 for emergency medical aid. If your mind is becoming affected by the virus, terminate yourself for the good of our country. If that virus outbreak happens in the eastern United States, all cities should be quarantined for an indefinite time and martial law will soon be enacted by the National Guard. Essential stores would remain open, however, all non-essential stores should be closed and all schools should be temporarily suspended until further notice.
Hey boys, knock it off. Guys, that's it. Now I'm gonna have to separate you. Brady, Matthew, I warned you.
Sorry, Mom.
Health Canada has sent you an emergency message. The Japanese waterborne mutation virus, also known as J17ZVI, has reached into Canada. It is known to be an aggressive and homicidal virus that makes people out of control and go into insanity to eat everyone that are unaffected by the virus. Symptoms of this virus are diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, fever, cough, shortness of breath, slurred speech, rashes, skin, ear, or eye problems, drooling, and homicidal rage. Cases were reported in Vancouver and Calgary at 8 a.m. in the morning. It is likely that you will be advised to remain in your homes or shelters. Barricade the doors in your home and seal cracks with tape to stop the virus from entering inside. You need to wear facial protection gear, stock up with food, water, and other essential supplies, bring your weapon with you such as a gun, knife, an axe, or others, and avoid densely populated areas. If you go outside, anyone without identification will be shot by the military troops. Quarantine will begin tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. If your mind begins to suffer from the symptoms of the J17 ZVI, terminate yourself immediately. If your loved ones are suffering the symptoms, call 911 for medical aid or terminate them immediately. Shall Canada be overwhelmed by the largest outbreak earlier next year, we would use our nuclear weapons to eliminate it for good. Stay tuned to this channel for further updates.
Santé Canada vous a envoyé un message d'urgence. Le virus japonais à mutation hydrique, également connu sous le nom de J17ZVI, a atteint le Canada. Il est connu pour être un virus agressif et meurtrier qui rend les gens incontrôlables et deviennent fous pour manger tous ceux qui ne sont pas affectés par le virus. Les symptômes de ce virus sont la diarrhée, les vomissements, les nausées, les crampes d'estomac, la fièvre, la toux, l'essoufflement, les troubles de l'élocution, les éruptions cutanées, les problèmes de peau, d'oreilles ou des yeux, la bave et la rage meurtrière. Des cas ont été signalés à Vancouver et à Calgary à 8 heures du matin. Il est probable qu'on vous conseillera de rester chez vous ou dans votre refuge. Barricadez les portes de votre maison et colmatez les fissures avec du ruban adhésif pour empêcher le virus de pénétrer à l'intérieur. Vous devez porter un équipement de protection faciale, faire des réserves de nourriture, d'eau et d'autres fournitures essentielles, apporter votre arme avec vous comme un pistolet, un couteau, une hache ou autre, et éviter les zones densément peuplées. Si vous sortez, toute personne sans pièce d'identité sera abattue par les militaires. La quarantaine débutera demain à 6h30 du matin. Si votre esprit commence à souffrir des symptômes du J17ZVI, arrêtez-vous immédiatement. Si vos proches souffrent des symptômes, appelez le 911 pour obtenir de l'aide médicale ou mettez fin immédiatement à leur traitement. Si le Canada était submergé par la plus grande épidémie au début de l'année prochaine, nous utiliserions nos armes nucléaires pour l'éliminer définitivement. Restez à l'écoute de cette chaîne pour d'autres mises à jour.
Clever. Ashcroft, Brayshaw.
Wow.
20 touches for Brayshaw.
Oh no! Oh no!
This is an urgent message from the Department of Health and Aged Care Therapeutic Goods Administration. We received a word from our military, saying that the Japanese virus J17ZVI is spreading rapidly within Australia, with cases being reported in every state. Residents in Queensland and New South Wales are advised to take extra precautions, as the highest concentration of cases are in those areas. J17ZVI is highly volatile and contagious, and has the ability to take control of a host's brain, which would turn a human into an infected predator, forcing them into a homicidal state. If anyone around you is experiencing onset symptoms of J17ZVI, terminate them immediately. Their deaths will be inevitable, and prolonging that will only create a larger threat. Most of our military and law enforcement are almost depleted, and resources are beginning to run out. It is advised that you stay away from densely populated areas, specifically located in New South Wales and Queensland. The support is on our way. There's a light in a tunnel. We need to survive for as long as possible. Remain vigilant and stay safe at all costs.
මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ආණ්ඩුව ඉතිරිව ඇති දේවලින් අවසන් විකාශනයක්. 2009 හඳුන්වන ජපාන වෛරසය අපේ රටේ විනාශ කර ඇති. පසුගිය 2024 දෙසැම්බර් 18 වෙනිදා කොළඹ ගුවන්තොටුපළට පළතමවරට පැමිණීමෙන් පසු වෛරසය අපේ රට පුරා විවිධ ගමනත් හරහා වේගයෙන් වේපත් වීමට පටන් ගත්ත මේ රටේ පවතින අයහපත් ජීවන තත්ත්වය සහ සන පරීක්ෂාව මෙම වෛරසය පැතිරීමට සුදුසුම තත්ත්වය වූ බැවින් 2010 ආසාදිතවෙන්දේ තුළ මිනිමරම් කීපයක් ඇති කාර්යය සහ විශාල වශයෙන් ආසාදිතයින් සටන් කිරීමට නොහැකි තරමට ආසන්න වේ. අපි හමුදාව සහ පොලිසිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම යටපත් වූ අතර ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අවුල් සහගත තත්ත්වය ඇති වූ බැවින් යටිතල පහසුකම් සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම පොළොවට ගොස් දැඩි ලෙස හානි වී ඇති බව වාර්තා වන අතර මිලියන 90කී ජනතාවක් මිය ගොස් හෝ අතුරුදහන් වී ඇතැයි සැලකේ. ආණ්ඩුව කඩවැටිලා. ජනාධිපති රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ සහ අගමැති දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන මිය ගොස් හෝ අතුරුදහන් වී ඇතැයි සැලකේ. ජනකරණ ප්‍රදේශවලින් වැළකී සිටින ලෙස ඔබට උපදෙස් දෙනු ලැබ. විශාල පිරිසක් සිටින විට ආසාදිතයන් විශාල සංඛ්‍යාවක් සිටින ඇති. දිවි ගලවාගත් අය සඳහා විශාලතම ආරක්ෂිත කඳවුර එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ කාර්ය සාධක බලකාය විසින් ස්ථාපිත කරනු ලද අනුලතුව දූපත් වෙත ගමන් කරන්න. මේ අවසන් විකාශනයයි. ලංකාවේ දැන් විනාශය. ඔබ දැන් ඔබම මතයි. ඔබට සූතිය සහ ආයුබෝවන්.
What is it, Townsend?
I regret to inform you that something tragic happened in your country of origin. I would like to hand you the letter from one of my colleagues in World Health Organization. Please read, Maiko.
No. It cannot be. That can't be happening. I lost my home country. I'm gonna cry now. My friends and family are dead because of the freaking virus. This is all my fault.
We're sadly doomed. BBC News sadly stated that the zombie-like creatures have murdered the Japanese Prime Minister. We are fearfully experiencing our sadness because our world might nearly end as we know it. I'm sorry, Maiko. Japan has fallen.
Where do we go? Where do we go? How do we know? Where do we go? Where are we going from here? How do we know? Where do we go?
The following message is transmitted by World Health Organization. Many countries are experiencing the wrath of the J17 ZVI pandemic. Cases are now reported in every part of the world, and many countries have collapsed due to extreme outbreaks. With Japan, the origin of the viral pandemic has recently collapsed. Over 9.1 million people in America have remained healthy, while countless people who are infected have been cut off for the good of our nation. The remaining American military forces and United Nations peacekeepers are trying to survive when defending the White House in National Mall as well as the rest of Washington. We aren't sure if they can handle it properly in the next few days. To all remaining American citizens, prepare your weapons, specifically guns and melee weapons, lock all doors at home and seal all cracks with tape, stock up with food and water, get a battery-powered radio ready, and never go outside to prevent yourself from transforming into infected within 10 minutes. However, if you want to go outside, make sure that you wear a facial protection gear and heavy clothing. This is to prevent the chances of contracting this virus. If this country falls, we will find our way to establish a future provisional government for the survivors. If you disobey the safety precautions, you will be shot on sight by the remaining National Guard troops. Stay tuned to this station for further updates.
Mr. President, we have a lot of infected individuals heading towards the White House. Shooting in your tree.
Fire on the crowd. Do not let them enter the White House.
They're getting closer. We don't have enough men to fend them all off. There's too many of them.
And Tile, send reinforcements.
Inside the capital! Taking over orders! England break! England break!
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
Oh crap. Everyone hide right now. They're in here.
К сожалению, Владивосток попал в руки японского зомби-вируса Й-17ЗВ. Инфицированные наводнили город. 1,2 миллиарда россиян погибли или пропали без вести. Временное сибирское правительство во Владивостоке было сожжено дотла на неопределенный срок. Город больше не стабилен, и поддерживать социальный порядок больше невозможно. Всем оставшимся жителям Владивостока рекомендуется эвакуироваться любой ценой. Город больше не является стабильным для жизни человека. Уходи сейчас же, или будешь убит. Вы должны защитить себя ради блага нашей страны. Не полагайтесь на защиту правоохранительных органов и военных. Команды сухопутных войск и спецназа России отказались от всех боевых действий во Владивостоке. Владивостока больше нет. Спасибо и до...
This is the emergency alert system. Please stand by for this national alert message.
This is a mass extinction event. Humanity has been overthrown.